Hey YouTube, I want to talk about being jealous. And I know that it's a kind of a natural human emotion, so it's going to be difficult to talk about it because, hell, even I do it sometimes. Like, seriously, there was this absolutely perfect, flawless Greek goddess of a woman on my flight back from Miami earlier this week, and it's hard not to look at that and sort of be jealous of perfect genetics, but I can't go back and change my genetics. Maybe science will solve that for me in a few years or whatever, or several decades. But the point is that that's not something I can control, so that's not something that I should worry about, so I can't compare myself to that. But as I'm walking into coach, looking at all these people who are paying for these first class seats, like, that is something that I can work towards, that I can eventually have for myself. And that is a sort of positive motivational thing. So a lot of people tend to make transition into a competition, and I think that it partially happens as a result of just the fact that transition is a lot of knowledge sharing. So, like, what should I expect when I start hormones? When did you know you were trans? When did you come out? When did you start hormones? What is your dose? What's your cup size? Things like that. And that's why the standard answer in most trans circles is your mileage may vary. Like, your results are going to be very different. So while I can share this information with you, like, that's not necessarily what you're going to get. But if you're then using that to say, well, damn it, like, she gets bigger boobs in 6 months than I get in 2.5 years, that's not a useful action on that piece of information. Like, maybe it means that you need to think about changing something up or whatever, but comparing yourself to her doesn't really do anything for you. And comparing yourself to cisfolk, for me particularly when it comes to the whole I can't have babies things, because I was out to dinner with coworkers tonight and everybody's talking about their kids, and anyway, that's not a productive feeling for me. Whereas comparing myself to where I was even 8 months ago when I started making these YouTube videos is like, wow, I've progressed so much in the past 8 months. And over the 27 months of transition or something that I'm at, like, I am in such a better place in my life than I was when I started, and that's the takeaway to focus on, because like, I wake up every morning, like, happy to be alive, like, ready to take on the day, and I didn't do that before, and so I don't care about other people anymore. Like, that's why I transitioned, because I stopped listening to them. And so to get to that point where you're willing to transition and stop listening and start doing things for you, but then as soon as you do it, start comparing yourself to other people, why? Like, don't listen to other people. Don't compare yourself to these people. Be your own person. Be better than you were yesterday. Like, those are kind of the only two things to really worry about, in my opinion.